That's just what was up. So let's do a little Katy Perry. All right, people are entering our virtual building. How exciting. Hello. How exciting for this one.
I like this song.
I know it's a classic.
Fits the vibe.
It's a good one. It fits the vibe. I feel like it's going to fit the session really well.
Yes.
I'm pumped. It's going to be really good.
So excited.
Yes. But thanks everyone for joining. Okay, we do this every time, but we love starting off with this. Is in the chat. Can you tell us where you're watching from? Because it's so cool to see.
I love this. I love to see how everybody's just like from all over, and they just,
all over.
I think you gotta tell them where you're from, though. That's only fair.
That's true. I'm in Chicago.
There's someone from Galapagos, and it's their birthday. Daniel Galesio. I love Galapagos. I'm from Ecuador, actually. So.
Oh, we got a lot of people from Texas. I love Texas.
Florida.
South Bend.
Wisconsin. New York.
Tallahassee.
Chicago.
Kansas, the little apple. I love that. Manhattan, Kansas.
Virginia.
More Texas.
Ecuador. Wow. Okay. Plano, Texas. That's where I grew up, y'all. I grew up in Plano, Texas.
Tampa.
Yeah, Texas.
Love Tampa.
Tampa. That's where I live now, y'all.
I was going to say you're in Florida, right? Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, we got Canadians. I love your ketchup chips.
Connecticut.
Ketchup chips. The ketchup chips. Yes, I've totally seen those before. And yeah, that is like Canadian. That's good. I like that. This
California.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
over. So cool. Well, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us. We know this has been like, it's 3 days already. It's crazy. And we're getting down to the last ones. But this is the reason why also we've saved certain sessions for last right now, because this is really just going to help keep you in the mindset. I'm so excited. Like the motivation has already started before we started recording, because like Brandon was already telling Becky and I, like, you guys, you need to believe in yourself and all the importance and the confidence, and we already feel inspired. So I know you're going to feel good too. So this can be awesome. But before I introduce our speaker today, Brandon, I do want to say a couple things, which if you've been joining, you probably have heard these before, but Sales Workshop is starting to get down. There's only a couple sessions left, but we've been recording all of them. So if you need to go back and watch any of them, I bet this one you're probably going to want to go back and listen to on those days you need a little bit of a push. And so it's always going to be available. They'll live on forever. But if you go to our right where you register, the Sales Workshop page, you'll be able to access those recordings there, and you'll have everything there. The other thing too is I want to mention too, we have a new special guest in here besides Brandon, the first one, but Becky also. Becky,
hello.
We have a new face.
Yes.
So excited to have Becky, and she'll be in there helping as well with like questions, chat, also just making sure like if my computer goes down, Becky can still keep this rolling. Yes. Don't worry, that's never happened.
Got you.
Knock on wood. It's never happened. So stay good, stay positive, hope technology works. But it's going to be really fun. But with that being said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here and I'm going to introduce the one, the only Brandon Foster, who is business mindset coach. Now, Brandon, you've been on other podcasts and webinars like for years now with us and stuff. And so it's really fun to have you back again.
I know. I'm super excited to be back. I got my Confident AF jacket, boo, to inspire and encourage everybody on here today.
I love it. It's so awesome. It's going to be so good. I'm very excited to hear. It's always so much fun talking with you.
Well, I'm super, super excited to share what I have to say.
Yes. I'll let you take it away because I know it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, now is my time, boo. Is that
it's your time?
Like now I need to. Okay,
I know.
All right. Awesome.
I roll fast now because I'm like, I gotta get you going because it's just so good.
All right. Amazing. So first of all, can I just say thank you? Because I know that as a business owner myself, actually running 2 businesses myself, that time is valuable. So the fact that you all are not only here and decided to be here, but you're actually here live with me means a lot. So first of all, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. I'm really excited to encourage, inspire, and motivate you. so that you can really believe in those dreams in your heart with your business that you are too afraid to share with the world. Because if you are like me, and don't lie, don't even pretend, there are things that you really want to accomplish that you think are too scary, too big, too unrealistic, too unattainable, that you like bury them down inside. And so today, my hope, my goal, my aspiration is to tell you, you're not crazy. Okay. You're not full of BS. Like, they were put in your heart for a reason. They are achievable. They are attainable. But, or I should say, and I don't like to use the word, but, and you have to leave the nest, boo. Okay. Like, I always tell my coaching clients, like, God, the universe puts the worms out there, but you can't stay in your little bird nest. You got to leave. Okay. And you got to take some action. So if you think that I'm going to be this mindset guru, coach, expert who says, just sit and meditate all day, that is not me. Okay. I am about faith. I am about action. And I'm also about believing in the unrealistic, because let's face it, people do unrealistic stuff every single day. The reason why people do unrealistic stuff every single day is because to them, it's not unrealistic. That's my first mic drop. Okay. Just because other people believe it's unrealistic for you doesn't mean that it is unrealistic for you. Okay. You decide what is realistic and attainable for you. Nobody else, boo. All right. And don't let your friends, your family, your significant other, that nosy neighbor next door, don't let anybody tell you differently. Okay. Now, before I start, I have 3 very important ground rules for those of you who are listening and who are watching, which is really, really important. Okay. Number 1, you don't have to believe anything I say today. All right. You are not going to hurt my feelings. Okay. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to be angry. If I say anything that triggers you or stirs you or you disagree with, you can mute me, you can leave, like whatever. Like, you don't have to believe anything that I say. I'm not here to force my beliefs or my paradigms or anything on you. I believe in free will, and that is our greatest gift that we have been given. So that's number 1. Number 2, in order for you to get the most out of what I'm about to say today, you got to choose to open up your heart and be willing to see things differently. The reason why kids are such good learners is because they know they don't know squat. Okay. Like, they know that they don't know anything. And that's why they're so good at learning. So if you come into here thinking you know everything about mindset or everything about business or everything about travel, all right, you're not going to get as much out of this as you can, because you have to have an open heart to receive that information. That's the second thing. The third thing is, and this is the most important, don't treat this session like my husband and I did with what is that grocery delivery service where like you pre-order it. What is that called? Like, you
Grubhub or Instacart.
Yeah, like Instacart, or like one of those where like you pre-order meals and they deliver it to you.
Oh, yes.
Like don't do that. HelloFresh, okay? Because my husband and I were like, we're gonna do HelloFresh, but literally, like, we would get the food and then we were like, I don't feel like this tonight, and we would never use it, right? Mm-hmm. And so then the food just goes to waste. It just sits in the fridge and it rots. So do not come into this and expect this stuff to work for you if you don't actually use it. There's a huge difference between receiving the information and actually implementing the information, right? So what I challenge all of you all to do today, and I want you all to comment, I will make notes, okay? Not take notes, but make notes. There's a huge difference, all right? Taking notes, and I got this from Jim Quick, by the way. Taking notes means that you are receiving the information. Making notes means you are deciding how you're actually going to implement the information into your business and into your mindset. All right. So that's the deal. Yes, I have so many. I will make notes. I will make notes. I will make notes. I will make notes. Beautiful. All right. Okay. And then just for giggles, how cool is this jacket, y'all? I'm just saying, like, and I was talking with Stephanie. I have a book coming out February 1st, shameless plug, Confident AF, Unleash Your Inner Badass is coming out in February of 2024. This was supposed to be like a cover photo, like wardrobe. And you guys can guess how much you guys think I paid for this. By the way, it's the wrong color. I bought it off of Amazon. And it was supposed to be like Grimace purple. Clearly, this is not Grimace purple. This is not Barney purple. This is like a pink fuchsia thing. $600, Maxine Burrow. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm so happy that it appears like that's the value of that jacket. That is impressive. If one of y'all puts $5, I'm gonna be really disappointed. We got 50, we got 40. Okay, you guys are pretty close. $35 for the jacket is what I paid for the jacket. Amazing. So let me tee up what we're gonna do today in our time together. Definitely gonna leave some time at the end for Q&A. And this tends to be one of the favorite things that people do because you have access to me that a lot of people don't have. So make sure if you have a question you want to ask, when we open it up to Q&A, utilize that time, all right? So everyone loves that. Right before the Q&A, I'm going to do what I call riffs, rants, and reframes. So basically what happens is because I coach so many amazing business owners all the time, I start to see patterns and I start to see trends in different industries. And because I work a lot with travel agency owners, travel entrepreneurs, I see a lot in the industry that drives me crazy. And so what happens is these things build. And then like I use my outlets to just riff, rant, and reframe on all the things. And I usually use my own podcast to do that. Or a private Facebook group that I have that I'll talk to you guys later that you guys can join. But we're going to do that. Okay. Towards the right before the Q&A. What I'm going to do right now is we're just going to have a conversation. I'm just going to talk about things that I want you all to know about small steps, because that is the title that I gave Stephanie today, and how to anchor into faith. And I want to talk about why those two things are important. And I want to start by giving you all just a frame of reference of like who I am and where I've come from so that you know a little bit about me, just to build a little bit of trust and authenticity so you know I'm not blowing smoke. All right. So I grew up in Plano, Texas, huge queso fan, by the way, Dr. Pepper fan here. And I had a innate, oh my gosh, I knew I loved you so much. Okay.
Oh yeah. Always have my Dr. Pepper on hand.
Absolutely. And I grew up having a really, what other people considered crazy, unrealistic dream to become a Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey circus clown. And my parents thought it was really cute when I was 5, didn't think it was so cute by the time I was 12, really didn't think it was cute in high school, and were deeply concerned when I was in college and they were paying for it and I still wanted to join and be a circus clown. All right. What happens? I did everything that I was supposed to do because it was the right thing to do, to not waste my talents and my brain and my personality and all my God-given gifts, right? I went and I joined Kohl's, I did their manager in training program, was a retail manager in charge of 44,000 square foot of retail space, 25 indirect reports, over 100 indirect reports, tons of accolades, yada, blah, 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 blah. And I was so unhappy. I was so unhappy because that's not what I wanted to do. That was not the desire in my heart. I still wanted to be a circus clown. So I did. I ran away. I joined the circus as a Ringling Brothers circus clown. I was there for almost 6 years. That's where my husband and I met. And then fast forward a few years after that, my husband and I both got laid off at the same time. We were in charge of the local Ronald McDonald program. He portrayed the character. I did all the booking, the management, all that kind of stuff. And then that's when I founded my travel agency, my travel business. And because when you're laid off, I mean, what do you have to lose? And then from that, I realized that my true love and my true passion was actually encouraging, motivating, inspiring other travel entrepreneurs and other badass business owners to grow and scale their businesses. And that's kind of where I am today. So I say all that to all of you because the reason why my gift is so special is because I guarantee you, no matter how much you believe in yourself or how little you believe in yourself, I love and can help almost anybody take their confidence and their belief in themselves to a whole new level. Now, if you are a doer and a go-getter, this means the confidence to actually rest and trust that your business still gets to grow. It means that you don't have to be in your business all the time. You actually get to spend time with your family, with your kiddos, doing other things. It means that it's not about hard work. It's about working smart. There's a thing that is called laziness and thought, which actually costs way more than laziness and action. I see way too many entrepreneurs who, I love you all so much, but you don't ask, is this the right thing to do in my business? Is this the right time to do this in my business? Is this the easiest way to do this in my business? Is this the fastest way to get the results I want to in my business? You don't ask those questions. And so you don't get the right answers for your mindset and for your business to move forward. Now, if you're someone who is struggling with belief or confidence, I got your back too, boo, because I was making $315 a week, living on a circus train, traveling all across the United States. And there was a lot of paradigms and beliefs and lack mentality and money and mindset and confidence that happened to me because of a lot of different things in my life. So I can help pretty much anybody believe more in themselves. So yes, and you guys probably read my bio, but I created all the mindset content for Careers on Vacation, which won 4 Magellan Awards by Travel Weekly. I now have my own coaching business, my own mastermind called Born to Slay, my podcast, and a book coming out. And I'm from Texas, obsessed with queso, obsessed with Dr. Pepper. I also am really, really, really liking the morning show. If you guys are still on Apple TV, it's really good. Okay, cool. So let's talk about faith, because this is one of the biggest things that I feel like people don't get, they don't understand. And honestly, there's so much emphasis in the travel industry put on practical pieces. And I firmly believe in practical pieces. Like, I love Travefy myself. Travefy is amazing. And it's an invaluable tool and resource. I also truly believe with my whole heart that mindset matters more importantly than anything else. Because what you do and what you don't do inside of your business is indicative of your mindset. So if you all like the idea of Travefy, but you haven't actually tried to use it, you've been procrastinating, or if there's bells and whistles in Travefy that you're not using because you're scared or apprehensive or whatever, that's all mindset. Like, that's not practical. Procrastination, boundaries, not showing up on social media, like all of those are mindset pieces. And oftentimes the blame gets put on something like Travefy, when the truth is Travefy just does what you tell it to do. I mean, I know that Stephanie and Becky, they do the trainings and all that kind of stuff, but like the algorithm, like the social media does what the social media does. So like, if you're not getting the results that you want, don't blame the social media. You got to think about what you're doing and what you can control, not what you can't control in your business. So faith. What I have found after coaching hundreds of entrepreneurs, and not just the travel industry, but in a lot of different industries at this point, is that a lot of people don't actually believe that they can attain certain goals. And the reason why this is so important is because if you don't believe something is attainable, you will never take action to actually achieve that goal. Ever. If you don't believe it's possible for you, you're not going to take that action. I love you so much, but you're just not going to do it. You also are not going to receive or achieve that goal if you don't feel like it's safe to actually have that, right? So I have found myself like basically self-sabotaging either leads or really amazing things in either one of my two businesses at different times of my growth and trajectory because I didn't feel like I was ready or safe to receive it. A great example of this would have been many years ago on my travel side when we suddenly had like 20,000 followers on TikTok, and I completely started to self-sabotage because I was like, I was fine with having 500 or 1,000 followers on TikTok. But once I had 20,000, I was like, oh my gosh, 20,000 people can see what I do. They're seeing my message. And I really had some next level fears and trepidations and worries about being seen by that many people. And what happened, I started like slowly, I just stopped posting because I felt like I had to deliver. I had to reach some kind of unattainable perfection in order to not lose these followers and in order to actually harvest the sales from those followers as well. So you got to feel safe to achieve your goals. You got to believe it's possible. And you have to believe that you're worthy of those goals. And I think this is something that a lot of people miss, especially moms, dads, or if you have hidden money paradigms, the feeling of guilt for receiving will keep you from actually receiving the thing. And it's so ironic because everybody wants to receive leads with ease. Everybody wants to receive sales with ease. Everybody wants to win the lottery with ease. But like what happens is you don't do very much. Like you post one thing on social media and then you get like this amazing $75,000 Roy E. Disney Suite, Disney Cruise Line, lead, and you feel guilty because you didn't do very much. What happens is guilt erodes your worthiness. So then, because we don't want to feel guilty, we repel and we push away the very thing that we keep asking to receive. And I see moms do this all the time because they feel guilty spending time in their business. Well, if you feel guilty spending time in your business and you already feel guilt, well, what do you think is going to happen when you get leads? What do you think is going to happen when you have more sales? You're going to have to serve those clients. You're going to have to take care of those clients. And so if you feel guilty already, you don't want to feel more guilty. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. I'm not going to mention any names of there's so many amazing training programs out there that teach the practical tools and resources of the industry. But this is the stuff that nobody's talking about. This is the hidden gems of the travel industry, the hidden energy and dynamics that are really impacting whether your business can grow or not grow. And I just want to give you all a really example because I feel in my heart that we have a lot of moms, we have a lot of dads, we have a lot of parents or people who are nervous about not being there for their kids or not being there for their family while they devote their time for their travel business. And I had a one-on-one conversation with someone yesterday, one of my one-on-one coaching clients, and we were talking about this. And she's like, I feel guilty when I leave to go on a fam trip. I feel guilty when I go to do a training and I'm not present with my kids. And I said, do your kids want to spend every waking moment with you? And she kind of looked at me and I'm like, I can tell you right now, boo, there was many moments when I was growing up, I did not want to spend time with my parents. I wanted to play Mad Dog McCree on Sega CD and kill some baddies. Okay. Like that's what I wanted to do. And I was not upset. I was not disappointed if my dad was working late because Mad Dog McCree was calling my name, right? And so what I told her is I said, you have to shift and reframe this. You have to believe in your whole heart that when you leave to go do a fam thing, that grace fills in the gaps for you. Now, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in the universe, I'm not here to dictate your religious beliefs, but believing that something bigger than you is taking care of that slack is huge. That's actually what reduces overwhelm the most as a business owner and entrepreneur, besides taking small steps, which I'll talk more about. But I told this mom, I said, if you know your kid doesn't want to spend every waking moment with you, then who's to say that you can't make, when you travel, an amazing time for them to spend time with their dad or grandma, granddad. And like, it becomes this huge thing that, cool, when mom travels or dad travels, when they work on their business, I get to have really amazing grandma, grandpa time or dad time, or somehow make it really, really, really special so that they don't even care you're not there. Okay. And then when you come back, they also know that because you've been gone, they're going to get some really killer, amazing quality time with you when they return. And not only are they looking forward to you leaving, they're looking forward to you coming back home. So it's no longer this thing to feel guilt about, it's something to celebrate. And the truth is, Brené Brown has an amazing book about guilt and shame called Daring Greatly. And she outlines a lot of the main reasons why both men and women feel guilt and shame, and why that can create emotional turmoil and really, stop your growth in business. And what's so ironic about this is with women specifically, you feel guilty if like you're a stay-at-home mom because you're not being a good example of being in the workforce and being a contributor and showing your kids what it's like to make a living in society, and people judge you for it. And then what happens is, if you are a working mom, then you feel guilty because you're not spending quality time all at home with your sons or your daughters. So then now you feel guilty about that, and you feel judged by the stay-at-home moms. And the truth is, the only reason any of those judgments matter is because you yourself already feel guilt and shame about that. You're already in agreement about that. It actually has nothing to do with the other people at all. It actually has all to do with you. You are either in agreement with it or you are not in agreement with it. So what I found is a lot of amazing business owners, they want to believe in themselves. They want to believe in their goals. They want to believe in their aspirations, but they don't actually believe. They actually have hope instead of faith. Hope is not ever where you want to stay. Okay. So like, imagine that, imagine if like your son or daughter broke their arm or their elbow and they go, Mom, Dad, is this going to be able to be fixed? And you go, I don't know. I hope so. Like, imagine what their response is going to be, like horror, right? But what happens when that happens? And then, by the way, I broke my elbow in the 3rd grade, just so you guys know, it went the wrong way. So like, I really relate to this analogy and example. But imagine what happens when you tell them, honey, of course, we're going to go to the doctor. They're going to put a cast on it. It's going to heal. It's going to be fine. And it's not from a place of I hope, it's from a place of faith. Now, faith is assurance, which means a promise. Okay? A promise. That means that even though you don't know how it's going to happen, you still believe. After coaching hundreds upon hundreds of amazing people, the number one hang up on their mindset is they don't know how they're going to achieve their goal, dream, or aspiration. That's the number one hang up. Everybody wants to know how am I going to have over $1 million sales, $5 million in sales? How am I going to scale my team to 20 people? How? Y'all ready for this? You don't need to know how. You just need to know 2 things. You believe it's possible, and whatever that first step is, that's it. Every 1,000-mile journey starts with 1 step. If you were to ask Steve Jobs, hey, how are you going to create the iPhone? How are you going to create the tablet? He never could have told you how he was going to do it. If you had asked Henry Ford, how are you going to create the automobile? He never could have told you how he was going to do it. All of these, Oprah Winfrey, the same way. How, Oprah, are you going to create your own network? I don't know. I'm just going to do it. And in fact, not knowing how is the number one seed that causes doubt. And when you have doubt, you open the door to fear, to worry, and to quitting. Do you know why people quit on their dreams? There's only one reason why people quit on their dreams. People think there's like a lot of different reasons, but there's only one reason why they quit on their dreams. They stop believing it's possible. Because the second you stop believing it's possible or achievable for you, you will quit. Because why waste time, energy, money, anything in something that you don't feel is going to reap a reward or reap a harvest? You won't do it. You simply won't do it. And so when I tell you all that you just have to know that it's possible and believe and say, I don't know how, but I'm going to figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to get more leads, but I'm going to figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to get more sales, but I'm going to figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to charge that $1,000 planning fee. I'm going to figure it out. When you decide, I don't know how, but I'm going to figure it out, you are opening up new doorways of possibilities and ways for you to achieve your goals, dreams, and aspirations that you have never opened before. In fact, that was one of the most beautiful things that I love when people listen to my podcasts or digest into my free trainings is I opened their eyes to new possibilities of things they never thought was attainable or possible to them. And I do that to myself all the time, y'all. I don't know if you guys have ever invested in a mastermind, but I invested this last year in the most expensive mastermind I've ever invested in. I think it was because I did the pay in full bonus where you get like, a special discount. It was $24,000, okay, for a mastermind. And the founders of that company, they have a live-in mastermind and they invested $75,000 and have to stay in a specific building to do their mastermind. Why do people do that? Because they need to shift their beliefs and the possibilities into a higher level of thinking so that, are you all ready for this? What they thought was a big deal is not a big deal. One thing that creates so much resistance to $1 million sales or $1,000 planning fee or, booking that Roy E. Disney suite is that you think it's a big deal. And the truth is, when it's not a big deal, it's way easier to achieve. And I think I have a podcast episode coming out soon that's called Make It Not a Big Deal. But imagine if getting the leads that you want is not a big deal. Like it's a normal Tuesday or it's like a normal Sunday. People like ooh and gaw with celebrities because they go, I can't imagine spending that much money on a purse, or I can't imagine living in that kind of a house, or imagine whatever. And the truth is that's a matter of perspective. And to them, it's not a big deal. In fact, I did a Facebook post and I said, you have the same spending power as Taylor Swift. Same giving power as Taylor Swift is what I said, because I love Taylor Swift. I love her generosity. I love her spirit. I'm sure many of you all saw that she donated like $100,000 or gave a bonus $100,000 to every single truck driver on her tour. Well, I went back and I did some research and I wanted to figure out what is that percentage? What is the projection of what she's going to make from her tour? And what was the actual percentage that she gave to her truck drivers? And my math could be completely wrong, full disclosure, but just based on my quick little research, it was like around 1%, which means if you were to get $10 today and you were to give someone a penny, right? That's right. No, 10 cents. I think my math is right. 10 cents. Is it 10 cents or is it a penny? 10 cents.
Yeah. I was gonna say you're asking wrong person.
I know.
I'm not
We're
good
gonna
at
make
it.
it easier. $100. If someone were to get
$10,
$100, right? $100, and you gave someone $1, that is 1%. So if you use that mindset reframe, then you have the same spending and giving power of Taylor Swift. So when you all get hung up on like $100,000 vacation, the planning is no different than if it's a $3,000 value resort at Disney. It's the same process. The only reason why it feels harder to you is you have more resistance is because of the dollar amount that's there. That's the only reason why. And here's a secret that I got from, I think it was Steve Harvey, which is Teachers don't have any problems educating the students of millionaires, educating the kids of millionaires, because they know that that is their zone of genius. They have no problem with it. So why do we sometimes as travel professionals second guess your expertise with someone who makes a lot of money? Teachers don't question how good they are at their job, regardless of how much money someone makes. So why do you question yourself? And like, I really had to work on that with my ego, because I'm telling you all right now, I have coached people who, by the world's view, are way more successful in their industries than I would consider myself to be. And that was like a really quick reframe like I had to do early on, because I have coached multiple millions of dollars of agency owners on their mindset to grow and scale their businesses further. This last year, I coached one of my teachers from grad school. Who is a New York Times bestselling author on her mindset. That triggered me up to no end when I started, because I'm like, God, why am I having to coach her? And it was like, because it's not about you. It's about your gift, your talent, your zone of genius. So comparison is never a fun game to play, y'all. You always lose. You always lose. All right. So we talked about faith, small steps, and then I'll do my riffs. The things that your heart is leading you to do in your business, you already know what they are. Don't pretend that you don't. The reason why you're not doing them is because they feel too big for where you're at today, which means you need to take a smaller step. So when people are like, I really want to invest in Facebook ads, but I can't spend $300. Nobody said you have to spend $300. You can do $1 a day. Okay. You probably spend $35 in a week when you order those crumble cookies for delivery on Uber Eats to go and watch your favorite Netflix binge like Cobra Kai. All right. It's a matter of mindset and reframe and starting small and actually habit stacking. I had an agency owner who was killing it, and did not pay herself. And I told her, I don't care whether you pay yourself $1, $25, or $100, you need to start paying yourself so that you have something to stack, and so that you can see the name of your business being deposited into your paycheck, okay, into your account. By the way, you all will never hear me ever use the term small business, okay? You will never, ever hear me say that, because that is an assignment of meaning that you are small. There is nothing small about your gifts, your talent, the way that your business is growing, what is capable for you. The reason why people use the term small business is because they feel that by saying this, they're small business, that somehow people are going to feel sorry for them and use them instead of the big bad companies and corporations. And then those same people, okay, those very same people wonder why they don't believe that they can have a steady flow of leads or steady flow of sales or steady income. Well, you believe that you're a small business. And not every how many small businesses go under every single year? Maybe if you started believing that your travel business was a company with sustainable income, sustainable leads, sustainable marketing, maybe you wouldn't have so many hangups about receiving money through your business. I learned that one from Amanda Francis, who actually is a friend of mine, and she's great about the emotional intelligence of money. So small steps, start small, and then you stack those steps. It doesn't matter how small the step is, stack it. The analogy that I give you, I have a friend, he's on the new Ringling Brothers show. His name is Wesley Williams. He's been on America's Got Talent. He's had like 3 Guinness Book of World Records for unicycles. And he didn't start off on a 3-story unicycle. People see that and they go, oh my gosh, he started off on a normal unicycle, y'all. A normal little unicycle you buy off of eBay for like $125. All right. But what he did is he slowly added the height. All right. Small steps. Are y'all loving this? I need to know that you are loving. Are you guys ready for the riff ramps and reframes? I'm not giving these riff ramps and reframes unless I know you're listening and you are ready for this, because I'm not going to waste my talents, my time, and my expertise with people who are not ready to receive. So if you're ready to receive, let me see that in the comments right now.
Comments are blowing up. Everybody's so tuned in. They're like, yes, more, go. So glued. They're so excited.
All right, cool. So some of what I'm about to say may trigger you. All right. That's a good thing. All right. If it triggers your emotions, that means it stirs something inside of you. That means there's something for you to look at that's going to help you to grow. All right. That's what that means. So I have compiled things that I think are absolutely crazy that I've heard a whole lot that people don't realize in their travel business. All right. Number one, my social media isn't attracting leads. Wrong. You're not attracting leads. Okay. The number one mindset reason why you can't attract leads on social media is because you don't love yourself, whether it's your face, your looks, your voice, your uniqueness, whatever it is, and you are hiding on social media. If you are hiding on social media, it means you don't feel safe to be seen. And if you're hiding, how do you expect people to find you and book with you? The energy of hiding is the number one reason why travel entrepreneurs cannot find business on social media. Number two, people won't pay me what I want. Wrong. People will pay any price point. You don't have to do your services for free. Nothing wrong if you do want to do your service for free. That is your human free will. That is your choice. The truth is, you can't charge fees or raise prices if you feel guilty about it or unworthy of receiving it. So if you want to charge higher prices, if you want better clients, if you do want to start charging planning fees, then you need to work on your guilt and your worthiness to actually receive that. Number four, I'm lazy and I procrastinate. Wrong. You're not lazy. You just don't know what to do because you haven't spent time with your mindset and thoughts. Procrastination is not a big deal. You just don't want to do what you feel like you need to do. So that either means that it's too far out of your comfort zone, you don't know how to do it, it's too much money, like whatever it is, that just means there's more mindset, energetic work to do. Could also be you're afraid of failure, because if you're afraid of failure, then why even try? If you're afraid to fail, you're not going to try because then you're protecting yourself from the perceived failure. When you realize that not getting the results that you want doesn't mean that you're a failure or not a success, you just get back up and try again, then you take away that whole fear from you. Number five, I can't afford to invest in myself or my business. Wrong. The truth is that you probably don't feel worthy to invest in yourself or don't fully believe in your talents, and or you have lack mentality around money and are afraid that if you invest in yourself, you're not going to be able to get that money back. All right. The truth is, it usually costs way more to do things on your own the wrong way and costs you more time than having an expert, a coach, a program, a course, or whatever. Like, can you all imagine trying to create like a Travelify, but using like a Word document as opposed to like an expert tool or resource? And also, why do all NBA coaches and players and or NBA players, NFL players, why do they have coaches, right? Number six, my clients don't respect me and they don't value my time. Wrong. You haven't set boundaries, boo. You don't set boundaries and you tell them that it's okay because you have probably lack around clients and you're afraid that if you set those boundaries, those clients would leave. When you respect your time, your expertise, and what you have to give, your clients will start respecting it too. And if they don't respect it, they're not your best clients and you need to let them go. Number seven, I'm doing what everyone teaches. It's not working. I'm blending in. Well, the reason why it's blending in is because it's not just about using tools and resources. It's about using them in your unique way, because there's only one of you in the entire world and universe. So when I teach my agents how to use Travelify, I have them use their voice, their uniqueness, their way of communicating with clients so that they stand out and their personality shines. Because if you do everything the way that everybody else does in the industry, you will blend in. You will not stand out. You disrupt an industry by being your most truest, most authentic self. Clients are hard to get. Wrong. The reason why clients are hard to get for you is, one, you might be hiding like we talked about earlier, or two, you believe they're hard to get, so you're an energetic match for that. Or number three, you're not using your uniqueness so that you actually stand out. You're not using your quirks to actually let people see the true you, right? Number 9, my clients are suspicious, or they question me and they question my prices. Usually, if you have any kind of trust issues with either clients, or maybe if you're an agency owner leader, you have trust issues with your team, that is because you don't trust people. And you don't trust people because someone has hurt you in some form or fashion. And by the way, the universe does not segment between personal life and business life. So if you've had a bad personal relationship and it erodes your self-trust in people, you're going to have a hard time trusting clients. You're going to have a hard time trusting people to help and support you. And if you don't trust them, they will not trust you. It's a two-way street. The energy moves. All right. Number 10, I'm overwhelmed. I don't understand why. Well, actually, overwhelm is very simple. You're trying to do it all alone and you're biting off more than you can chew. One of the biggest things that I'm a huge proponent on, for those who know me, is co-creation. That's you and God, you and the universe, higher power, doing the thing together. It's not all about you. And also not biting off more than you can chew. Those two things eliminate overwhelm. Number 11, it's not working. Wrong. It is working. It just means you need to tweak the things. Like a Roomba vacuum cleaner, when it hits a desk or it hits your couch, it doesn't shut off and say, I'm going to self-destruct because I'm a terrible Roomba and I hit a couch and I'm going to blow up because I'm terrible, right? No, it doesn't do that. What it does is it recalculates and it goes away from the couch. What you all do is you don't get the results that you want. You hit a couch and then you self-destruct instead of just recalibrating and recalculating what you can actually do in your business. And the last one is, and this is usually when people, one of the reasons that people come to me is they feel stuck in their business. When you feel stuck in your business, you are not choosing to think differently and do differently. That's the only reason why you get stuck. That's the only reason why you're focusing on what is instead of what you are choosing to create in your future. That's the only reason why you get stuck. That was my 12. Did you all like that? I don't know. Let me know. Did this trigger anybody?
There was one, Angela said, fresh out the gate and you're stepping on my toes. So it must have been like the first one. Someone said, ouch, all true. Yeah. Jennifer said, you're my new favorite person.
Well, listen, let me tell y'all, I love y'all. And if I were here not to speak my truth, that would be a huge disservice to you. And nobody else is talking about these things in the travel industry. And I feel like that's a huge disservice to all of you, because what happens is you judge yourself and you think you're terrible and you think you're not doing a job and you think it all has to do with practical pieces. And that's not true. So what I hope from this conversation today is that it gives you a breath of fresh air and you start to look at things differently, and you can go, wait, if it's not all the practical tools and resources, then maybe, just maybe, I am on the verge of a huge breakthrough when I shift my mindset and my energy.
I love it. Yeah. Oh my God. Also, these comments are so good. There's Maxine, I told my boss I'll be at work after my random awesomeness class. So great. That is awesome. I do know we do have some questions, but also I know we'll make sure to have time, because one of those questions is actually like, how can they find you, the podcast and everything?
Yeah, I know there's some questions coming in. If you have some questions, drop them in the Q&A. We'll have some time to answer them. So Brandon, if you're ready, we can jump right into them.
Let's go, boom. Let's go, boom.
Okay. So Suzanne is asking, can you talk about the imposter syndrome?
Or imposter
syndrome.
I know. Yeah.
Hey, I call it imposter sometimes too. So don't feel bad, all right?
Guys, I'm just saying, it's fine.
No, yeah,
yeah. So the two, that usually is linked to the question of self-sabotage. So self-sabotage is I don't feel safe to receive the thing that I want to. Imposter syndrome just means I don't feel safe to become identity of who I want to become. And the reason why, that's the other thing. And this is where I like completely disagree with a lot of other mindset experts, is so many mindset experts focus on the end result, like the manifestation, the goal achievement. But that only comes after you have faith and have done the inspired action. And that doesn't happen until you change your identity. And so the number one example that I use is that in order for a farmer to reap a full harvest, they got to do farmer things. They got to plant the seeds. They got to tend to it. They got to water. They got to fertilize. They got to look at it every single day. And when it doesn't grow immediately, they don't judge themselves and say, I'm a terrible farmer. They know there's a gestation period before they reap the harvest. But it all starts with the identity of I'm a farmer. So you got to ask yourself first, how do I become a $5 million travel agency owner? Because you ask that question, now you're going to start to do those actions that will lead you to that result. Where people get that all wrong is they say, well, how do I become a $1 million travel agency owner? You will never get the $5 million answers because you asked for $1 million. You didn't ask for 5 million.
Yeah, that's good.
Love that.
That's good. I think that answers also the question of Dustin Portilla that he says, like, how can you stop self-sabotage? Essentially, that's the same answer as well. Right.
Yeah.
Steezy.
Love that.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. So we got another one here for you. Okay. So Monica asks how to motivate your team and help them change their mindset.
Yeah, so my ego boo really got me on this one. As I like, because here's the thing. Let me explain something to you. As long as they have a willingness, they're coachable. As long as they have a willingness, they're coachable. So where it got me, it was like, okay, they're not really posting as much I'd like to see, or they're not taking the actions that I want to see. And my ego was like, well, you're a mindset expert, so just change their mind and they'll be willing to do it. But where the ego got me is like, they have to be willing to change their mindset, because I know that in order for people to do differently, they have to first believe differently. And the reason why they don't take action is because either they're afraid or they don't believe that they're going to get the results that they want. And so, they don't understand like what's in it for them. So you have to really look for willingness. If they don't have willingness, which really has to be an internal motivation factor, because you can't be the inspiration. Like, I don't want to be an inspiration for you all. I want to be a motivation. Inspiration is external. It's not self-fulfilling, and it doesn't keep the juice running. Motivation is internal. So I want to ignite your internal motivation to get you to act and do things differently. So you need to see if you can, activate their internal motivation and they have a willingness. If they don't have willingness, you need to let them go.
Yeah, that's good. That's such a good answer. You need to start believing on yourself. I think this is like pumping us up to believe that and to understand that first off. Okay, so next question. Corrine said, is it normal to be afraid when starting your own business?
Yes, it's normal to be afraid literally every day in your business. Because look, I talked about stacking small things. Okay. I'm always doing scary things, right? The difference, see, the analogy that I use is roller coasters, right? So like the first roller coaster you ride is going to be like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at Disney, or like the kiddie roller coaster. And like when you're a kid, like that's kind of scary. Like it's a pretty tall hill. But as you grow older, like there's always a bigger, scarier roller coaster. This is why I do not believe at all in that the idea that you either have confidence or you don't. That's a complete lie. You have conditional and circumstantial confidence. Confidence has to be built on every new level on your business. So you might have confidence, to do like the small vacation, but do you have a confidence to do a 75-room cruise? Like that's on a whole new level. So for me, I'm always having to step into a new level of confidence. Writing my book and like putting that out in the world, that's like a new level of confidence, because people can reread it and reread it and reread it and reread it. Like that's a whole new thing, right? So like there's always another level of fear where people get things wrong. is that fear becomes more powerful before you actually take the action. So imagine like Velocicoaster at Universal Orlando, and like if there's a short line or you have that express pass, like you're afraid, but you're on it like before you know it, and you've ridden it, and it's over, it's done. You had the courage and it's done. But what happens is if you have to wait a long time and you see person after person screaming and screaming and screaming, and you watch the coaster over and over again, you build up that fear, so it feels way bigger and scarier than it is. This is also why if you do something new for the first time, you need to do it again very quickly. Because what happens is if you ride the Velocicoaster once and then you don't go back to Universal for a year, that fear can come back because you have forgotten the courage that you had and how it actually felt when you did it. So it's very important that you have consistency in your business, consistency of mindset, consistency of action, and stack it so that it becomes no big deal to ride that Velocicoaster.
Whoa, love that. It's so true. And also, so now we need to ride the Velocicoaster like multiple times. It's so true. I love that analogy. It's so good. I have another question here though from Lorraine. This is so good. I feel like a lot of people can relate to this. They said, I'm so good at encouraging others to achieve their dreams, but I stay away from leading because I feel I need to have more knowledge myself. So at what point do you know it's time?
Well, first of all, you are attached to the idea that there is a perfect time. And I love you. Perfection does not exist. Because if perfection existed, there would be no room for grace and no room for improvement. So there will never be a perfect time, ever. So I always tell people that there is never a better time than today. There's never a better time today to lead. There's never a better time today than to learn. There's never a better time today than to try. There will never be a perfect time. So there is never a better time. In terms of having all the answers, you will never have all the answers.
Yeah.
In fact, what I teach in my high-level masterminds with my agency owners is I actually teach them to love not knowing the answers. That it's actually a freedom of a burden, because that means you can ask and put it out there to receive the unlimited possibilities and the unlimited answers that the universe, God, whatever you believe, can provide to you, and it lets you off the hook. I also tell people, if you never booked a destination before, don't let your ego get in the way. You call that vendor, call whoever, and you say, hey, I got my first lead for this, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never done it before. I'm terrified I'm going to screw it up. You will never get more amazing, better service. Innately, as human beings, we want to help other people, and you're going to call out the very best of that individual.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, everything you're saying, Brandon, I think it resonates with all of us for sure. Now, I know we're running a little bit short on time, so there is one question I'd like to ask, if you don't mind going just a few minutes over, Brandon.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so Helen asked, I am brand new and I'm doing all the trainings and webinars, and I am working on building my social media content, but I have no clients yet and my confidence is lacking. What should I begin working on next? I'm willing and motivated.
That's a great question. So the number one mistake I see with any entrepreneur online business is they don't put out their open sign every single day. Like, if people don't know, if a pizza restaurant doesn't turn on their open sign or doesn't advertise that they're now open and that they sell pizza, nobody is going to go in that pizza store and ask for a pizza, because they don't know you're open. They don't know what pizza you have. And if you're a generic pizza store, meaning you just say, I have pizza, as opposed to I do Chicago deep style pizza and it's the best you're ever going to try because I grew up in Italy. Now you're incorporating that authenticity. Now you're going to draw people to you. So I always tell people, your first thing every single day you need to do is post on social media. Posting on social media for online business is your open sign. Every day that you don't post an open sign is the day you miss potential clients. And I also say, don't get upset if you post once and nobody comes to your store. It's not a big deal. You don't plant one seed as a farmer and expect to have 10,000 crops. That's not how it works, right? I also tell people that don't make it harder than it needs to be. Like, have fun with it. You gotta have fun in your business. And so, and also, I also don't want you all to attach to this idea that you have to post every single day, because like Chick-fil-A, they're closed on Sundays, y'all. All right. And they're not hurting for business. So you don't have to post every single day, but there is so much truth in consistency of posting and letting that be the first thing you do every single day to put out that open sign. Because the truth is, a lot of travel entrepreneurs, they do the training behind the scenes because they want to learn, which is beautiful, but nobody sees that. So if you're not posting that you're doing your training and learning new destinations, then nobody knows that you're learning. Nobody knows that you're doing the training. There's so many travel entrepreneurs out there that are doing everything in secret, and then they wonder why nobody knows what it is that they do. Is because they're not posting and talking about on social media what they're doing behind closed doors.
So true. That actually was talked about in our last session too, is the importance of saying like all that. And I think there's so much, like secret agents in here, just like working really hard, but no one ever really knows. And so I love that. It's such a good point to make there, Brandon. Now, before I wrap it up though, I do want to make sure that we share, where can everybody find you and get more Brandon?
Absolutely. So let me share my screen with you. So the first thing is, there's going to be a little handout I'll send to Stephanie, so she can, I think somehow she's going to be able to give that to you all. But scan that QR code right there. Okay. Scan the QR code. That QR code.
Oh, there we go. There it is.
Yeah. Scan that QR code. That QR code will give you an invite to my private Facebook group community. Well, there's over 25 free trainings for you. And the podcast that I have is called Confident AF Live. It's in all the places. You can just Google it, search it, whatever. Confident AF Live with Brandon R. Foster. It's on iTunes, Spotify. It's in all the places. So, yeah.
It's everywhere. That's awesome. There's seriously so much. Like, he's amazing. So here's what I'm going to do next, everybody. So once I get that, so Brandon, if you can send me that, I'll make sure to get it up as quick as I can in our Facebook group. So if you go to our Facebook group, which let me actually throw that in the chat if people are not part of that yet. But in the Facebook group, though, that's where, here, let me just make sure I get it. It's going in there right now. But in there, I'll make sure to make a post, and then we can start like a little chat for comments, and then I'll make sure to put that download in there. Oh, and if you're not on Facebook, just send us an email at professional@travefy.com, and then we will make sure we get that to you. So I'll let our support team know that there might be people coming in, and I will respond and give that to you. But also after this, we have our last session of the day, which is insane. I can't believe it. But join us at 3 p.m. Central for Rosalind Rance's session. It's going to be really cool. It's how to market and sell yourself as a travel professional, which actually rolls really nicely after this one. We just talked about how important it is to put yourself out there and have that confidence. So this is actually like really well set up. So can't wait for that. But after that, the fun doesn't end there, because then we have trivia happy hour.
Yes.
I'm so excited. If you've ever joined us for travel trivia happy hour before, it's a blast.
It's so fun.
Yeah. Right, Becky. You just grab a cocktail, drink, water, depending. I know everyone joins us from all over the world, so whatever time of the day it is, you can grab the beverage and then join us, and we'll have prizes as well. So it'll be really cool. But I just want to thank you again, everybody, for joining, and for Brandon for joining us, and Becky as well. It was so fun having you on here too.
Yes, I'm so excited. Thank you for all of that, Brandon. That was so awesome. I just feel like so empowered, and I think everybody does too. So
yeah.
Well, good. I'm happy. It's a pleasure being here, and I got to thank you all for the invite. I always love coming here and collabing and sharing my heart, sharing my energy and my spirit with all of you. So thank you for giving me space to do that. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anytime. And we'll keep that convo going in the Facebook group. I'll make sure to put that in there, the link and all the good stuff. So thank you so much again. And we'll see you in a couple hours here again as well. But thank you again, Brandon. We're ready to take on the world now.
Yes.
Amazing.
Great.
Love it.
Thank you, Brandon.
See you guys.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks.